Hey everyone, I'm Rob and welcome to the test drive. Today, I'm doing a special 100,000 mile review of the BMW 535d. So I've been meaning to do a review of this car for quite a while. I've driven this car many times, including the day it was purchased by the actual owner, and many times until now. And actually, this car has just over 120,000 miles. So I've been meaning to do a review on this car when it actually hit 100, didn't really get a chance to, and now it's at 120. So, you know, it's awesome because I'm going to show you, number one, how awesome this car is, but two, how this 535d has held up after 120,000 miles. Now, the car that I'm driving is a 2014 model year. It was purchased in the fall of 2013, so it's been driven very heavily. I mean, you're talking 4 years, 30,000 miles a year on average. So that's a lot of driving in this 535d. So for those of you who don't know, the 535d is the diesel 6-cylinder BMW 5 Series. And we're gonna get to the performance and the drivetrain and engine here shortly, but I wanna start with the exterior of this car. Now, this is the outgoing body style of the 5 Series. So the 5 Series was redesigned for the 2017 model year. The last time you're gonna see this body style is for the 2016 model year. But it's a really nice design. I think it looks awesome, and I mean, even now with that new 5 Series out, it still looks really good. Now, this is also a pretty loaded 535d. So this is actually the M Sport version. You see it has the 19-inch M Sport rims. It has the front bumper is the M Sport bumper, which looks just awesome. And you see a lot of M badging throughout the car to indicate that this is not your regular run-of-the-mill 5 Series. This is an M Sport, and it does have the 535 diesel underneath of the hood. Now, the interior of this 535d is also very well designed. It's extremely comfortable. This one has Napa leather seats, and it's the mocha color, which just looks awesome, especially inside of a black sedan. And you do have heated seats in the front and in the rear. You have black headliner, black throughout the car. And you also have the M Sport steering wheel, which has been updated in the new generation of the 5 Series, but this is still a very nice steering wheel. It's very soft, very thick, just feels really good. And this one is held up really well. I mean, after 120,000 miles, still feels, you know, it really feels new. This also has a decent amount of trunk space. I like that the trunk is electronic. So it does have electronic opening and closing. And the back seat has a pretty good amount of room. I mean, I was able to sit behind myself with no problems. I'm 6 feet tall. So you do get a pretty nice amount of room in the back of this 5 Series and throughout. I mean, the driver and front passenger also have a lot of room. Now, getting to the performance of the 535d, and it may surprise you, but this thing is actually a beast. it's a really quick car. It really performs very well. I mean, it is so much fun to drive, and obviously that's BMW's selling point, is, you know, being a driver's car. You know, they market themselves as the ultimate driving machine, and you know, this thing really is. This 535 diesel, this 3-liter inline 6-cylinder, puts out 255 horsepower, which is pretty respectable, but then it puts out 413 pound-feet of torque. And that is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and just the whole setup is awesome. I love the rear-wheel drive bias in this Xdrive system as well. It's awesome when you're in an all-wheel drive car and you can get rear wheel spin. That's just awesome. And the handling is so good. I mean, this is a heavy sedan. This is not a light car. It's not a sports car, but it wants to be one. It drives like it is. Now, I'm kind of in a weird situation here because I drove a couple miles up the road and we got snow everywhere, but at my house, 5 miles, I don't know, in the other direction, there's no snow. So I don't know if we should turn around or not, but I will say this 535 diesel also has the Xdrive all-wheel drive system, which is a very nice system. See that truck? Look at that. I wonder if he's doing that on purpose. It's very nice for performance purposes, and it's also very nice, you know, for handling in inclement weather. Look at this snow. This thing still handles amazing. The other thing I have to say too is this diesel is actually very quiet. My 2012 X5 is also the diesel version, and that thing is way louder than this. Now this 535D is also pretty well equipped when it comes to technology. It has the older version of the Idrive system, but still a very good system. The navigation, very nice backup camera, front and rear parking sensors, doesn't have any of the blind spot monitoring or lane keeping or anything like that. I personally don't really care for those features anyway. They just kind of get annoying. I guess the blind spot monitoring is kind of nice, but I really don't like the lane keeping because it doesn't really jive well with the way that I drive. This thing pulls so hard. Now, as you might imagine, the 535D is also very economical when it comes to fuel consumption. The average in this one, and I don't think this has ever been reset, but it's at 34.7 miles per gallon. That's mostly highway, but there's quite a bit of city in there. And the way that the owner of this car drives it, it's probably not the most economical way of driving it either. So, you know, I have to say that getting almost 35 miles per gallon on average in a large sedan like this is great, but it's rated to actually do better than that. So how has this 535D held up over not just 100,000 miles, but actually 120,000 miles, being driven at 30,000 miles a year? The owner of this car has gone through several sets of tires, has had to replace both the front and rear brake pads, but other than that, it's really been repair free. You have your regularly scheduled maintenance with the oil changes and your diesel exhaust fluid top offs, but the only issue over that 120,000 miles was about 10,000 miles ago, and that was the diesel particulate filter had to be replaced. And that was a very expensive and very time-consuming repair. The car ended up being in the shop for almost 2 months because BMW didn't have the filter available, and the total cost for the repair was about $4,000, including the labor. And I even looked online to check out the cost of the filter alone, and the cheapest one I found was about $2,600 just for the filter itself. So, you know, it's a very expensive maintenance part that was really unavoidable. Other than that, I mean, the car has held up phenomenally. If you look at, you know, the condition of everything, it's obviously been well maintained, but, you know, it really has held up well. Now, for 2017, there currently is not a diesel in the new 5 Series lineup, but it is coming for the 2018 model year, even though a lot of 2018s for the 5 Series are already out. The 540d is supposed to be out at some point, I think early 2018. I expect that the 540d will have even more power. We'll see what the fuel economy looks like. I'm sure it's not gonna be less efficient than this 535d. It'll probably be better. And when it does come out, obviously I'll make sure that I get to test one and review it for you. So I hope you enjoyed this special 100,000, or actually 120,000 mile review of the BMW 535d. I'm Rob. This is the test drive. Please feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the car and this video and what this competes against. And please feel free to subscribe to my channel if you'd like. That does help me make more videos. And I'm also on Instagram at the Test Drive NY. Thanks again for taking this test drive with me, and I'll talk to you soon.